Right.
But it's an intense sport, and sometimes it makes it more intense when you have equipment. There's more chances of bigger injuries.
Right. Well,
you're lugging around all this stuff now. Right?
So the downhill, were you ever afraid that like you might get into another? Has that ever crossed your mind?
No,
you might get into another.
We make the jokes, but I've heard stories. I've heard stories of a paraplegic going out and doing like skiing and then ended up breaking their neck and then taking a higher spinal cord injury,
oh my God.
Which then they lose the mobility of their arms, right? And so I was like, whoa, So right now I've been doing things conservatively,
right?
But I do like sport.
So you're not the same old young Lee that just you're taking things a little more cautious.
Taking things a little bit more easier and protecting my body, obviously, because obviously don't want to make things worse.
Yes.
But the sports are great. The para sports and just the community itself, a lot of amazing people.
Good.
So that's where I encourage. I love bringing my friends and family out to see this stuff and meet people.
Yeah.
It's just a great community.
Awesome.
And so that's where going from being an able-bodied, and then acquiring a disability like this and being in a wheelchair. So that's where now I've become a very big advocate for community accessibility.
Sure.
Because that's the only thing. Something that's very frustrating now being in the wheelchair is being reminded that you're in a wheelchair.
Right.
So it hurts my own pride, and so going back out in the community, and it's like, okay, I'm back in the community. I got this beautiful wheelchair accessible truck that I love to show off.
Right. Yeah.
I got a nice Ford F-150, and I did a Superman theme to the truck. It's a nice blue.
Yeah.
It has a nice wheelchair lift and everything for me to get in. And once I'm in, you have no idea that I'm disabled.
Right.
Because it doesn't scream disability. It's not like it used to be.
Right.
It's not like you're getting this big old clunking van.
Right.
It's now you can have whatever vehicle you want, and we'll make it accessible.
Sure. Yeah.
So that's been that was a life changer as well too. Once I got that vehicle, I would just go and drive just because I can.
Right. Sure.
And I was told that from a very close friend here in town, Mark Edison, who was our Paralympic curling athlete, and also a good friend of his as well too, that I've become friends with, Mike Monroe.
Right now.
These two guys came to visit me in hospital actually as well too, that I have a lot of respect for. It was very nice that they came to visit me in hospital, because and that's why I really enjoy showing up for others that are going through a similar situation.
Like a pay it forward kind of thing.
Pay it forward kind of thing. It's that's the life fulfilling part. So if anyone is looking for their life purpose, it truly is to help others, so that everyone can have a full life.
Sure.
A full and healthy and good life. Yeah. We got to help each other.
Absolutely.
Because happiness is a good thing.
It is.
It's absolutely a good thing. So
was there times? I mean, I love your attitude and I love your positive.
Oh yeah.
Was there times when you were sitting there? I mean, where you thought like, geez, I can't go on, or did you not even allow yourself to go there? Because I know that. Obviously, I lost a buddy to suicide. Has there been anyone that you've known that's maybe tried to take their own life, or anything that's gone to that negative side of it?
Through peer support and going into the hospitals and the stories, I have met some people that...
Were they in a dark place?
They're in a very dark place.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing, right? It's for me... My mind didn't let me go into that dark place,
right?
Because I want to be tough.
Yeah,
it's my pride.
It's your purpose almost.
It's like when I call myself, I'm a manly man and I'm tough, and it's my pride, right? And I want to get through this.
Yeah.
And so that's what helped me get through it.
Yeah.
But as we know, that some people don't have that mentality, right?
Right.
They don't have a tough enough mind.
Yeah. Or they could have mental illness on top of the disability
that too,
as well, right?
And depending on their life situation. I had a very good life situation before I went into the disability. Once you had a really bad life situation,
or a bad support system, your support system sounded unbelievable.
And support system and everything, and that's why it breaks my heart sometimes to go in to do peer support and there to be no family, visiting.
God, I can't imagine, man.
It takes a lot of energy out of my day.
Do you feel like you bond a little bit more with those people because you come from such a strong support system?
I stay that much longer.
Yeah.
And I give them all my contact information.
Yeah,
I offer to take anyone for a ride in my truck if the nurses are willing to, discharge them for the day or a couple hours or whatnot. And
good for you, man.
It's
amazing.
It's exciting because this young father in Chicago, actually, I'm going to talk about Cole Thomas.
Okay.
He's hit over 12 million or something views because he posted a video, which right at the beginning when he was first disabled and in hospital, the very first week. he put a video up telling everyone he doesn't want to be, you know, paraplegic, and he's going to get out of this. He's got 2 young daughters. He wants to walk them down the aisle. He's got a loving wife, everything. And so he put, you know, his cry for help online. He reached out.
Yeah.
And the world responded.
That's awesome.
And sure enough, I ended up getting in contact with his wife and with Cole.
Yeah.
And we got talking because he was asking for anyone that knew of, you know, the treatments and the doctors and the right people to talk to. But so these are the people that I know.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
I'm like, that's me.
Yeah.
So, but I'm thinking this man needs some education. You know, he doesn't know obviously that there is life in a wheelchair, because if he is dealt with the cards that you're going to be in a wheelchair for some time.
Right.
That, you know, you can still be a father, you can still be a husband, you can still drive. You know.
Right.
He was very, very emotional. He didn't know about any of these things.
He sounds a lot like you when you were going through that.
I got to tell you, it was an experience.
Yeah.
When I showed up, I told his wife, I said, you know what? I live in London, Chicago. I love Chicago. It's my favorite city. My uncle played for Chicago Blackhawks.
No shit.
And now he's a pilot for American Airlines.
Wow.
It's very exciting. And he's been a great uncle to us and this and that. And I really enjoy Chicago. So I said, you know what? It's not that far. I'll drive. And I'm going to come visit. I'm going to meet your husband. And we're going to chat. You know, we can chat. We can cry. And we can get through this, you know. I can give you as much advice and education, anything you want to ask, bounce off me, ask me everything.
Yeah.
So I drove. I woke up the one morning
in
and I drove in the Superman truck, and I showed all the way up to the Chicago Rehabilitation Hospital in Chicago.
Good for you.
So I showed up, and I got to meet Cole. And when I saw Cole, it oh man,
yeah,
it was. It's like looking at myself.
Yeah,
this guy actually looks like me.
Really?
He even has the same scar over his eye.
No way.
Oh my God, I couldn't believe it. You know, like, so it was like looking at myself.
Wow.
You know, and so it reminded me a lot about my experience in the hospital.
Yeah.
So I'm in there, and so I get joking, and you know, and build a rapport with him and his wife, and his wife initially she didn't want to be around him. She was just so upset and really upset and her just broken for the situation.
Absolutely.
So once I got talking with her, and then she came in and sat with her husband, and we got talking, and you know, started putting things together, and so we had a good laugh. And then, you know, I checked him out, and sure enough, though, from everything I've been learning and seeing, you know, I started feeling his legs, this and that, and asking him to move things.
Yeah.
I've been doing a lot of therapy, a lot of the physio. I listen to all these terms, and I listen to what they're looking for, and the muscle firing, and this and that. And you know, they have things where they call it the gas pedal, which is called, it's your dorsiplantar flexion. So plantar flexion, planting down, and dorsiflexion coming up. And that's a test that they do in Switzerland to look for any of that control, because that's the furthest part of the body. Well, the toes is, so they look for any toe movement, but also some ankle movement. So I, you know, just not telling him what I'm doing, I'm just asking him to do these things for me, and so I'm just checking his legs out, and so I'm starting to feel some potential. And he's a week into his injury, and so then I'm thinking, so I don't know how to say it, because I'm not a physiotherapist, I'm not a doctor.
Right. So
I just tell him, I just say, oh, you know, you should probably have a physio, because they told him he was a complete injury, and that he was never going to walk again.
Right.
And so I told him that maybe he should potentially get, I stepped aside and I spoke to a therapist or a nurse and asked the nurse if they would get the person that does the Asia test to reassess him. Right. Because I really believe he's an Asia B, which means you're an incomplete injury, that there's a lot of, you know, nerves that have survived the accident.
Okay.
And so sure enough, they, after we visited and I shared my experience, and then I told them, you know, you need to put up the good fight in therapy. It's going to be tough. Yeah. But I gave them all the science behind why you got to get standing, why you got to get moving, and rebuilding connections, and everything with neurology, and gave them as much education as I possibly could in that day. And then sharing my experience in a wheelchair in my truck. Yeah. And I also played it down a bit, saying, you know, because he's looking at me in a wheelchair, and he's like, I don't want this guy, you know, coming to visit me. He's in a wheelchair, and he's been in a wheelchair for a couple of years now, and he's trying to tell me that I'm going to be the one to make these gains and this and that. Right. So I was saying, you know what, my injury is every injury is different. Yeah, sure. So yours was, you know, I'm just saying that my injury was very damaging to my spinal cord. Playing it, that my injury is really, really bad, and it took a stem cell transplant for me to feel anything or move anything. And sure enough, he's seen some things move without any kind of transplant. Without anything. So I said, you know, that's good. That's you know, that's a good
positive thing. Sure.
You want to keep working on that, you know, and you're going to have to work hard in therapy. Well, sure enough, they reassessed him. after I left, they reassessed him. They found out that he's an incomplete injury. He started working very, very hard in his therapy, and 7 months later, he's walking.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
and now he's an inspirational man. Him and his family and everything they've been through, and he got to walk out of the hospital, and he had his 2 little daughters, and it's amazing. Well, absolutely amazing.
Buddy, you may not have gotten to walk out yourself.
Yeah.
You helped someone else.
Yeah,
That's
so
huge.
it was. It felt really good, you
Good.
know. And if there's anything I said that potentially helped, as much as this guy worked, and he had the mentality from day one. He knew he was gonna, walk, and he put in the hard work.
Yeah.
So if there's anything, that potentially I said or just showing up helped him.
I bet it did.
Yeah,
I bet it did.
But the only sad part of that story is there was so much, hype and excitement with the Thomas family.
Yeah.
That then I was asked by a nurse, because she was hearing about that I went to Switzerland and the stem cell. She asked if I would meet this young man at the end of the hall. That he's a war veteran.
Yeah.
Young man. He's in his 20s, and he had broken his neck.
Oh shit.
And so sure enough, here I am wheeling across the hospital floor, and I go into a room, and this young man is paralyzed from the neck down.
So you go from a really exciting.
You go to an exciting, and
this
is the thing too is the quadriplegic, when they lose the hand function.
Yeah.
All they would just take back their hand function. That's it.
Right.
But then the paraplegic wants their legs back.
Right.
Or actually some paraplegics, depending on the age of the injury, they would just take back 100% bladder and bowel function.
Right.
And still stay paralyzed.
Right.
And then for someone that has movement in their legs, well, they just want to walk, right? So it's
yeah.
always a different level.
You just want that one little piece
That
more.
little piece
Yeah.
more, right? Depending on your situation and how high up the injury is. So going into this room, he was, quadriplegic from the neck down, and it was a very sad story. He was with a friend, and the parents always told you, if you ever get tired driving and you're with your friend, you switch drivers. Well, sure enough, he got tired driving. He pulled over. They switched drivers. His friend fell asleep at the wheel.
Oh my God.
Rolled the car, and where the car got crushed was the passenger side, and he broke his neck, and he's quadriplegic, And so it's very tough. It's very tough for me to now. For me, I can relate more obviously to the paraplegic, and I try to say all the right things, but then with the quadriplegic, I'm very, 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 very careful.
Yeah,
because I'm so worried to exploit that emotion and to set someone up for false hope. I don't like doing that. Yeah, and so I shared the information and what's going on in the studies, and so they want to get in touch with studies as well too, which is a great experience.
Sure.
It can potentially help in ways, but not even all the ways to be walking, but just help in the psychological ways of knowing that there's the hope and that you're experiencing this, you're meeting new people, you're traveling around, just kind of, it takes the mind off things. Right. And so I gave a lot of education and everything, and a lot of excitement, and this young man, he got a lot of education, and I hope he's taken and doing really well. And his father was an amazing man, just a good, tough dad, and he was right there by his side. But when I left and drove home, I fall apart.
Yeah. Well, why? Just because of his situation, you went from.
It's it takes a lot of energy on me to do it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm doing so well now, and my experience is like no other.
Right.
I've been to Switzerland 8 times now.
Wow.
I'm playing all the sports. I'm working out again, drinking coffee, hanging with the guys.
Look at what you've done here.
Playing around on my truck to do as much as I possibly can, and work on the truck, this and that, and to get back into life and to be happy again and be in control of my life and my emotions. And so it's just tough. It's tough to go in to do the peer support and to see someone that's worse off, like a quadriplegic. It takes a lot of energy on me. Yeah. Because I show up, I want to be strong for them, but then
afterwards you have to.
When I leave, and then I start thinking about these people, because I wish
you could do something.
that I could fix them.
Yeah.
Because I'd be okay staying in the wheelchair if I could fix people.
Sure.
If I could grant them their miracle or give them their wish.
Right.
Because I went through all of it.
Yeah.
So when I leave, it takes a lot of energy on me. I have to take a whole day and a half maybe to just kind of get myself together, because it's tough.
No, I totally understand it, man. I totally understand it, and I think that that's a great quality to have because you're very empathetic towards others.
Oh yeah.
And you're a sensitive guy. I mean, you feel what they're going through. It's not a bad quality to have in the world, right?
Yeah.
So you can use all